and welcome back to another week with me. I'm Kimmy, welcome back to my channel. This week I actually kind of got an idea because there's been a lot of talk of Halloween this year and what that kind of looks like in this world that we're currently living in. Obviously, we are still going to try to make the best of the season here in our apartment by watching all of our favorite horror movies. I already talked to you about that list. I made a full-on Google sheet and color coded it. I got the idea from my friend Michael as far as color coding which movies we own and which movies are available for streaming, and then I just went down this deep hole of I need to color code it based off of each streaming service and whether or not we own it, and then it's 150 plus movies long and we're still adding to it. We are gonna watch all of those films as much as we can, and we are buying all of the candy apparently, and still taking advantage of those October treats that we love. But obviously it's a little different because all of our favorite events have been canceled, and trick-or-treating obviously isn't really a thing that's recommended. LA health officials first said that it was canceled, and then they changed their mind and was like, well, we just don't recommend it because duh. I figured this year we're not going to be spending a ton of money on a costume, obviously, because we want to save as much money as possible. So I was trying to think of different ways that I could come up with costume ideas at home. And obviously, my favorite movie is The Strangers. I talked about that before, and obviously they have different masks that the attackers wear in the film, but it's the same 3 masks. But I figured I would kind of take what I have available to me and see if I could turn my face into a mask. This is definitely not anything new. Obviously body painters and there's different illusionists and stuff like that on YouTube that have done this look before, so I definitely recommend looking up, baby doll mask tutorial to see some really cool ones. But I honestly just wanted to see if I could do it, and I didn't want to use any of my effects paints or airbrush or anything like that, just because I went through this crazy cleaning frenzy a week ago and I just don't want to take everything out again. So I decided to see if I could do this with just my regular makeup, and so I figured that would be cool for you guys if you want to do it at home. It's all stuff that you can just use from your standard makeup kit that you probably already have. So yeah, if you want to see more videos like this, or if you want to see any other Halloween ideas I might have, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But enough of me jabbering, let's go ahead and get into the look.
Hello, it's me again, the great and powerful Kimmy, coming in with that voiceover. Alright guys, so I started off this look by applying foundation that's about 1 to 2 shades lighter than me. Halfway through applying the foundation, I realized I should probably mark out where I don't need foundation, so I did that with just a standard white pencil. And then back in with the foundation. I used a pretty full coverage foundation because I didn't want any of my skin to peek through. Obviously with the mask it's pretty opaque and plastic, so you want to make sure that none of your natural skin tone peeks through. And then I powdered the heckin' bob out of it, still powdering. Basically I wanted to make sure that there was no chance for anything sticking to the makeup or going where it shouldn't go. And then I basically take a contour shade from the Smashbox contour palette and I trace along the upper line because that's essentially where the top of the mask meets the face. And I wanted that to have a 3-dimensional look to it. So I start off with that contour shade and then I go in with a black eyeshadow. And I just have an angled brush. So I'm just applying it really close to where the foundation meets. And I'm blending that out. And I keep going back in with that contour in the black and buffing and blending until it looks really soft and looks like a true shadow. And another way to get a really good shadow obviously is to put in a really nice highlight. So I go in with a white liner right up along that line and buff that out as well. And you can slowly start to see that it gives kind of a lifted look on top of my forehead so it doesn't look like it's attached. And then I'm going to go in and trace my eyeballs. I'm using a Bobbi Brown gel liner, so it's just like a potted gel liner and then an eyeliner brush to get the initial outline. And then I do fill in my eyes with that same gel potted liner. You can use any potted liner for this. You can use a cake liner, those are really nice. Or if you are cool with going and getting some Halloween makeup, water activated paints are really good. But if you have gel liner, it'll definitely work. I will give you a heads up, you'll see as I go through this, that the gel liner does get kind of patchy. There are some gel liners that dry super quick, and so that's sometimes how you can get kind of that patchy vibe. I also wish this was a little bit more opaque, but I do go over it with a black eyeshadow to give that depth and dimension and to get a more true black, all blacked out eyeball. And then I'm taking the liner super close to my lash line. I did tightline and run a black liner through my waterline because the idea is that you want the eye to be completely black. So when you close your eyes, it looks like it's just a drawn on eye for the mask. And then now I'm taking a white liner. This is just a jumbo white pencil from Sephora collection. And I'm finishing off the whites of the eyes with that. And then I go back in with a smaller detail brush to kind of blend that white line out. Sorry, I'm blocking my face. I will get a real camera at some point so I can actually make sure that I'm in frame the whole time. But you get the gist. Now I'm going over it with a powder once again to set the liner and to also give a brighter white appearance. And then now just a little bit more detail work to give the actual appearance of like a painted mask, or, you know, that it looks more cartoonish. I'm going over the outlines of the eyes with just a regular felt tip liner and giving that really clean edge to it. And then I go in and draw the eyelashes. They're awful at first, right there. But I do go back in and fix them basically just by adding a little bit more like of a thicker line towards the bottom. It gives a more tapered like lash effect. Like I said, if you do body paints or like water activated paints, they definitely come off more opaque right away. And now I'm just adding on the brows. I just did this with a contour color and like a deeper brown. I do the contour shade first, just with powder and an angled brush, and then I go back over it with just a little bit of a darker brown. And then I check to see if I'm getting the effect that I want. Nope. Okay. More black. And you can obviously see that my brows are darker than the rest of my eye. If you were to block out your brows, you could prevent that. I just didn't feel like blocking out my brows. And then now for blush, her blush is it's like a fuchsia color, so I went in real bright. And obviously, since it's supposed to be a baby doll mask, it is really a blown out blush look, so I bring that all the way down the cheeks and up pretty much under the eye. and then I kind of buff out any harsh edges with the rest of that original foundation brush. Now I messed up the lips first, so that's why I already have the lines for my mouth, because I messed up the lips and had to go back and remove it and redo it. But basically you just want the lips to have kind of that puckered appearance to them, so I'm bringing the line about halfway in when I'm lining my lips, and then I just take a liquid lipstick to fill it in. And then obviously, since it is a painted mask, I go back in and make sure that the lines on the lips are super precise, and then I do go back in and kind of clean it up with foundation and concealer just to make sure that it's all nice and precise. Color changing, cool. Thanks, sun. All right, but that is the finished look, you guys. I hope you enjoyed watching me kind of experiment and see if this was something that I could pull off. I was pretty pleased with the end result. Obviously, there's some things I would do different next time around, but it was kind of fun to get back into something a little different. But if you want to see more videos like this, and if you're interested in seeing other Halloween looks that I have, leave a comment below. Otherwise, I will see you guys next week. Bye!